Hello and welcome to a video. If you're new here, welcome for the first time. If you are returning, thank you for coming back. So this video is I grabbed this one by accident. I was like, something is not right here. Recap, essentially, of my experience at the Triangle Pen Show in Raleigh, North Carolina. It was the first time I'd been to that pen show. And I was only there on Sunday and only for a couple hours. But it was great because there were not a ton of people. So I was able to pretty much get in and see everything at all the tables that I wanted to see. The main reason that I went was because I had scheduled an appointment with Kirk Spear to do some nib tuning for me. And you may recall from a recent video of this new Sailor Pro Gear that I got that the nib just was not, it was just not writing the way that I felt like it should. So that was kind of my plan when I made the appointment with Kirk, was to get this one adjusted. But I was like, I'm not asking for any specialty grinds. I'm literally just asking for adjustment. And I have 20 minutes with him, so I'm going to take advantage of that. So I put in all of my pens that I wanted to have a little bit of adjustment on. And if we got through them all, great. And if we didn't, then that was fine too. Spoiler alert, we got through them all, and I actually had time to spare. But there was, some question about this, this brand new pen that I got, and this one actually just prior, being brand new, but the nibs, for Sailor Pro Gears, 21 karat gold nibs, not being as good as they should have been, even, out of the box. And, I talked with some various other fountain pen friends about this. I used my own experience. I've been using fountain pens for a very long time, so I knew what was wrong. But anyhow, I was like, what is my luck that I've got two pens in a row that the quality just is, is not there on that should be. And he agreed. When he looked at my pens, he's like, yeah, no, these, I'm glad you brought these because you would never be happy with how they wrote because they're not quite right. So I felt very vindicated then. Thank you very much. He did some tuning on these 5 pens, and they're all great writing now. These 3 wrote pretty well before. And in fact, if I wasn't going to see him, I never would have worried about having anything done with these because they're great. But they just had just enough that I was like, if they could be smoothed out a little bit, what the heck? So that's why I took them. But these 2 were, the problem children that I wanted to have dealt with. And I can't remember which one. It was either my Kuromi or the Iris Nebula. I don't remember. Anyhow, one of them didn't require, I think it was the Kuromi, just a little tiny bit of smoothing. But anyhow, I felt very vindicated that he agreed with me that they were not quite right. So while it is unfortunate, and that's, what kind of crappy luck do I have that I got 2 pens in a row that were not quite right. But, whatever, is what it is. They're fixed. They are nice and smooth now, and they're great. This Pilot, I've not been in love with it ever since I got it, but it was okay for the most part, except on the upstroke. It was like skipping and missing quite a bit. So I could write with it and it wasn't like annoying or anything. But again, since I had the time, I was like, I'll take it. But anyhow, now it's good. However, maybe the best part of my experience there was sitting down and talking with Linda Kennedy. If you don't know who Linda Kennedy is, she's, I think of her like as pen royalty. I know many people, myself included, have amazing respect for Kirk and Mark Backus and lots of Nibmeisters. There are lots of folks out there who are doing amazing work. But to me, in my little world, Linda was or is like, I don't know, again, pen royalty. I mean, she was trained by Richard Binder, who was kind of like the godfather of fountain pen tuning and stuff, nibs, all the things. She was taught by him personally. That's amazing. So anyhow, I sat down and talked with her for a little while and played with some of the pens that she had sitting there with her different grinds on them. And she's like, oh, well, you, what did she call it? Anyhow, what she, gosh, I can't remember what word she used, but anyhow, like I twist. So like if I, even if I try and start with my nib like this, as I write, the nib goes to the side. So ultimately I am a perfect candidate for an oblique. But there was more to it with the way that I would hold pens and the way that I tilt them. And she had a grind that she actually invented. And it's called the Daily Italic. And because I was trying the Cursive Smooth italics from her in different nib sizes. And because I like writing, I wanted some nib variation or some line variation. And as soon as I picked him up and started writing, she's like, oh, well, you, gosh, wish I could remember what word she used. Anyhow, I twist. And I was like, yeah, but I don't try to. Like, I try really, really hard to keep it straight. And she's like, it doesn't matter. Your hand's going to do what it wants to do. So anyhow, she said, try that. And she pointed to the one that she has, what she is called the Daily Italic. And I wrote with it, and it was so nice. It has the left oblique, like, part of it, but it also has, I don't know, I mean, I'm not going to try to explain it because, first of all, I don't remember super clearly, but it's got some other stuff done to the shaping of the nib. And she told me that she developed that grind for a friend who had, I don't remember, she said Parkinson's or palsy or something, that their hand was, not stable. And, but they still wanted to be able to write without, like, using a stub or something that's a little bit less smooth on the edges. And when they would try to write and their hand might have a tremor, it was, like the nib was digging into the paper and getting caught or, whatever. So anyhow, she invented this grind for her friend and has had it since then. And it turns out that grind was like perfect for me in the way that I hold the pen. So anyhow, that was really, really interesting. So I learned a lot from her. I had a wonderful conversation with her, and she is just delightful. I absolutely recommend if you don't know her, but you ever see her at a show, and get the opportunity to chat with her, definitely do it because she was just delightful. But did I come away with some new pens? Oh, one more thing about Linda before I move on. I had gone to my appointment with Kirk, and, she knew that I had, multiple pens that I was going to try to see if he could smooth out for me. And I went to my appointment with him. He did his magic, and I got my pens back that all write better now. And while she and I were talking later, I was like, here, I pulled them out, and she was like, oh my gosh, these are so nice. He did such a great job. I was like, yeah. So she really, really enjoyed writing with the sailors, because she apparently doesn't write with sailors very often. So she really enjoyed, I gave her this one, these two. She used these two to write with. So anyhow, that was cool that she, she's like, I generally don't like sailors, but this is really nice. And so that made me feel good. Okay, but did I buy any pens while I was there? Yes. Did I buy any ink? I did not. I actually didn't buy anything else. I had looked at some nib holders from River City, but there wasn't anything that was, jumping out, screaming at me that I had to buy it. And I had looked at some inks. There were, several vendors that had tons of ink options, but it was a little too overwhelming for me. Overwhelming is not the right word, but it was a lot for me for ink, because like I'd look at them and I'd be like, oh, do I have this one? Do I not have this? Is this one of the ones that I want? What does this color even look like? And there was not very good cell reception inside the hotel where the event was taking place. So it was, I'm like, I can't, it's not worth it for me to try and figure out anything ink related here. So I didn't get any inks. Oh, the other thing that I did was I sat at the Franklin Christoph table and tried some of their nibs. Again, with the Cursive Italic. They had them in a number 5 nib and a number 6. And I checked a few of their nibs out and did some writing and stuff. But so that was nice to be able to do also. Franklin Christoph pens, I don't have any. Sometimes I really like the look at them, and other times I don't. So anyhow, I didn't buy one, but it was very nice to be able to sit there, and the guy who helped me was so kind. And, obviously I didn't end up buying anything from them, but, just as typical as it is with people in the pen community, he, walked me through, different things to try as I was using the nibs, and, considerations about if I like the size 5 or the size 6 better, or, whatever. So it was very, very nice. Okay. So beyond that, did I buy pens? Yes, I did. But I only bought 2. And that was good. And neither of them was terribly expensive. In fact, they were not. So that was great. So the first one that I will show you that I got is kind of a, why haven't I had this pen all along? And I've just not ever got around to buying it. And it's the Pilot E95. I got the extra fine, and it writes beautifully, as expected. I love that this pen weighs like literally nothing. I have it inked up with oxblood, Diamine oxblood, and it writes very, very nicely and very pretty, and I'm just very happy with it. So finally got this pen. 100% positive that nobody from Pilot will ever watch this video or hear my pleas. But I would love, 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 love if they would make this pen with a dark blue. The burgundy is great. Love it. But a dark blue with that gold, oh, that would be so sharp. So Pilot, if you're listening, please make a blue version of this. This would just be such a ideal, perfect pen. So anyhow, I bought this, and I got this from Trufe, which is they have a brick and mortar store in Greenville, South Carolina, and just the nicest guys. I talked with the owner who was there, and I've bought things from them in the past, and it was, just kind of nice to like actually speak with the person who I've given a lot of money to over the years. And that's who I bought this from. So that's exciting. And so now I finally got my E95, and it's honestly like, it's like one of those things like, why didn't I not have this pen before? But now I do. The other one that I got, I'm so excited to show this to you, it was a collaboration pen that Fig Boot did with Radius a few years ago. I don't know how many years ago, like not a million years ago, but I think maybe 2 or so years ago. And I love it for several reasons. One being that besides my Sailors, the other pens that I have that I absolutely love writing with is my Leonardo's. Radius pens are, I think, now owned by Leonardo, like absorbed them or something. So anyhow, I mean, don't come at me, but they're Radius and Leonardo are the same now for all intents and purposes. So anyhow, this pen, I mean, it is so me. It's just, I can't even. So, here it is. Isn't it beautiful? I know the name of what he called it, and I can't remember. Hang on, let me go look, because it's going to drive me crazy. Okay. I don't remember the full name, but essentially it's the Blue Flame is what he called this. There were other words at the Radius. I think it was the model, the Radius. I feel like it started with an S, but anyhow, the colorway and whatever is Blue Flame. This pen is a, look at that. It's got a beautiful, ionized, nib on it. And this is a medium nib, cartridge converter. What ink did I put in here? I don't remember what I put in here. But anyhow, the ink itself, or I mean the pen itself, is just absolutely stunning. The iridescence is, I just like, I don't know, it's just gorgeous. The blue, obviously for me, is perfect. The pattern on the cap here is very pretty, and the clip, of course, is nice. The pen is not etched or anything. There's nowhere on it that it says, what it is. I actually only know that it is this collaboration because the guy I bought it from told me. And because it caught my eye, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And he said, oh, it was a collab that Fig Boot did with Radius. And I was like, what? So anyhow, that's what this is. And that's the Blue Flame. I cannot remember what the name of the model of the pen is, so I apologize. But after I bought it, he could have put a different nib for me, but it would have not been a pretty, ionized one. Ionized, is that the right word? Anyhow, but I prefer writing with a finer nib, case in point. But because I had just had this wonderful conversation with Mrs. Linda Kennedy, I bought this pen, and I walked right back over to her table, and I sat down and I said, put a daily italic grind on this for me, please. And she did. So, of course, she let me know that may affect some of the plating a little bit, it might chip or whatever. And I was like, let's take our chances. So, and she was just so fantastic. I just, honestly, the highlight of the trip, of being there, was talking with her. So yeah, anyhow, the pen now, I have to, like, when I start writing with it, I have to fiddle a little bit and find where the sweet spot is, because she ground it specifically to the way that I hold it. But I have to make sure I get my rotation on. Maybe that's where this is. Rotate. Yeah, that's it. I rotate to the left. So when I start writing, I have to make sure that I have the rotation far enough, because if I don't, then the pen doesn't write nicely. But with this custom grind, as long as I have the angle right and I start writing, oh my gosh, it's like a dream to write with. So let me see if I can pull out some, see if I can do this. I don't know. I probably won't be able to find the sweet spot while I'm under pressure of wanting to show you. But, and the other thing about this grind is that she was able to make it so I have some line variation with it. Not a lot, because the nib to begin with was only a medium. But also she asked me, if I use or wanted it to be like a wet, like, how wet did I want it to write? We settled for a happy medium, whatever that might mean. I said, I don't want it to be like my pelicans. Not that she has any idea what my pelicans were like, but I'm like, I don't want it to be as wet as a pelican. So like on a scale of, 1 to 10, with 10 being super, super juicy and 1 being like super dry, let's make it a 6.5 or a 7. She's like, oh, that's very wet. It was really funny. But anyhow, here is my blue flame. See, if I don't get it quite right, it's, it feels a little scratchy, but when I hit the sweet spot, oh my gosh, it's just, it's just so delightful to write with. But I realized that my sweet spot with this, the rotation it's pretty steep. It's almost completely sideways. But boy, it just glides, and it's just so nice. So, I know everybody gets custom grinds and likes them for various reasons. You can see here actually that my side lines are a bit fatter than the downstrokes. So it does give some, just a little bit of variation in the writing. Anyhow, it's, everybody that gets a custom grind, it's a custom ground for them, right? But I don't know, for some reason I feel like because this is a special grind already, and then, we sat there and tuned, and, she gave it to me 3 or 4 times before we got it just right. And I don't know, I just feel like now this pen means so much to me because it was made for me. So anyhow, so nice. I love it. So yeah, this is my new baby. I don't know how much I will, if I'll make this my daily writer or not. Probably not, just because I like too much variety. But and then here is my palette that I have with Oxblood, because what a perfect match of ink color to pen. But anyhow, so, this one being made for me now, with my weird, super extra rotaty hold, because I told her, I'm like, I try and start with it holding upright, but as I write more, it just doesn't. And like now, if I try and hold it upright and write with it, it doesn't work right. Like there's super scratchy, but if I find that sweet spot on the angle, it's just so nice. So yeah, let me see what I can, if I can get much like forced line variation with it. I don't think so, because it's at such an angle. There's not really a way to make the tines split apart. But anyhow, just the grind itself gives enough variation that it's good. So this is my pen, and I am super happy with it. And it's blue, and it's beautiful, and it's shiny. And what did I put in here? I'm sure it was Diamine Oxford Blue. I don't think I put anything else in here. Oh no, wait, I didn't put anything in here. She did. This is Waterman's Mysterious Blue. So very similar color. Yeah, that's right. She filled this up for me. And she has all Waterman inks. That's what she uses. So, gosh, I was like, I don't remember filling this. And that's because I didn't. She did it for me. So, anyhow, okay, so that's my my recap of the Triangle Pen Show. Will I go again next year? Probably, as long as I'm in town. I don't live close to there, but it's not far. It's like a 5-hour drive for me to get there. So will I go back? It's the closest show to me besides Atlanta, which is also 5-6 hours. I guess Orlando too is about 6 hours from here. So anyhow, I have options, but it was nice that it was a small show, and it was nice that I was there on a Sunday when it was far less busy. So I was, able to really walk around and look at things. Some of the other things that I did was I got to hold some pens that I never thought that I would, like a Pilot Custom Urushi. And that's a huge pen. And I have small hands. I mean, look, this E95, this is the size of my hand. Like, my hands are small. So I pick up this giant, Custom Urushi pen, and I'm like, there's no way I could write with this. Like, I don't even feel like I have any control over, and the guys, of course, were like, but the nib is so nice. Like, you don't even have to have it because it flows so well. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. But like, holding like the Leonardo, or Radius in this case, body style is about as big of a, that is comfortable enough for me to hold. I need small pens. So anyhow, that was kind of cool. There were a couple others that I, would have liked to have tried just to write with and feel, but, those particular ones didn't have any, like place to do that. Or maybe they would have if I would have asked. I don't know, but they're, they didn't have an obvious place at the tables with like paper and stuff to try writing with. So I did not write with a Custom Urushi, but I did hold it, and I was like, I can't do anything with it. Somebody else will have to enjoy this beauty, because I cannot. This is just not for me. Yeah. So anyhow, it was fun. glad that I got to have Kirk work on these pens for me, and that I got these 2 new ones, and how happy I am with them. What a wonderful experience I had, again, with Linda Kennedy. Gosh, I mean, that was just, if I could have bottled that time with her, it would have been just fantastic. So yeah, that was, that's it. But these are my 2 new babies, and these are my old babies that are now, a little more smooth to write with, because they were not perfect out of the box, which is unfortunate when you spend as much money as you do for these. So yeah. Okay, well, that's all I have for this. It was great, great experience, and yeah, I had a good time, and I love the new pens that I have. So I hope you are doing well. Continue to be well if you are, and if you're not doing well, I hope things improve for you soon. Take care of each other out there, because the world is a terrible place right now. But don't forget to smile and do your best. Thank you. Take care.